Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we are here with my, I don't even know what to call it now, to be honest. Is it a 91 or 97 two-wheel drive lowrider build? I don't know. It started its life as a 97 4x4, and now we are converting it to a two-wheel drive lowrider. We've swapped the 97 cabin engine onto a 91 two-wheel drive frame. And with that being said, I'm going to start this video out with messing with some of the suspension. So, something I have going on is, I'm changing my upper control arms to 4x4 upper control arms. I already did that side, and you'll kind of see actually why right here. You can see that this wheel is it's leaning to the left just a little bit, and with a 4x4 upper control arm, obviously it's just in the air. It's actually leaning out of here, which is perfect, because when I set this back on the ground, it's going to get a ton of negative camber. The upper control arms being a little bit longer helps us get rid of some of that negative camber as we lower it down via torsion bars. I know this only really straightens it out so far with the hanger redrill and 4-inch lowering blocks and lowering the front to match. So, if you are not on that setup, I don't know if I would recommend going to the upper control arms because it might give you positive camber. Negative camber would just look better at the end of the day. But we've already knocked free the, the center lugs for the wire wheels. These are held on by a little 6-lug to 1 wheel adapter. And just set this down over here. And something I need to do for a hot minute here. So I guess to start, I'm going to dismount the shock. I'm going to undo these 2 bolts and undo the bolt down here. Last round, they were all a 7/8 socket, just like this one is. Yep. So I'm going to break these free and then just use the snap-on gun to drive them out. Just giving you an update so far. We took the 2 upper control arm bolts out. We pulled the shock down, got the arm over it. You don't want to let this sit on that lower ball joint for too long. It's probably not great for it. With this, you're going to have to hammer it out somehow until it releases. And then once we get that to release, we'll be able to compare the sizes. And I'll just try to show you. It might not even be too visible. But then we will slap the upper control arm in. And you just don't want to forget to add your cotter pin after. Make sure everything is very tight. It's hard to really judge and show you guys trying to stack them on top. But we have the 2 bolts centered. If I lifted it up a little bit better, it would be better. But you can see just a little bit of difference right there in length. And a little bit bigger opening in the center too, I believe. So hopefully I'll be able to actually use the 4x4 upper control arms with the hydros. Or maybe I'll have to go with adjustables later. But for right now, I believe we should be fine on these. Very simply, that new arm is on there. We got the cotter pin ran in place. I had to bend it a weird way. It came out in a weird spot. Honestly, all I got to do is tighten down that shock. I'm going to grease the threads for the center lug with grease. And I think that's it. Put the wheel back on. And we'll have our new upper control arms. And I'll lower the truck down and show you guys how the wheels sit. Now I'm going to lower the truck down. We'll get the wheel back on there. It's going to sit a little high because obviously it's up in the air and both wheels have brought themselves down. But I'm curious to see how this will look. Lower this down. Like I said, I'm going to have to move it around to really see how it looks. It'll probably have some crazy positive camber right this second, which is not a bad thing because you'll see my wheels before were sitting like right here. So I'm going to move the truck back and forth and watch it settle. And voila, look at that. Just brought it up and down out of the garage and in the garage. And we have some pretty straight wheels, actually. It looks like I can even bring the truck down just a little bit more if I want to. Once I have the bed and everything on, it'll be a lot better as far as being able to tell where I need to put the wheels. They're not even in the front yet. I'm pretty happy with that. So that's a huge W. The 4-wheel drive upper control arms on lowered hard bodies definitely gets rid of some camber, but you have to be pretty low for it to really be effective. Other than that, I would just go with adjustable upper control arms. And man, am I proud to say it's about time I finally tightened up all of my body mounts except for just the very rear. I'm going to wait to do that until I cut out the cab rockers and cab corners. And just one more on this side. Just got to run this nut, put the gun up here, send it. And, I'm excited. I've been talking about doing that for far too long. Okay, well, on my small list of things to do to, like, 100% the truck before I weld or get any new parts is I just got to fix that, that little U down here still. That's got to get bolted up there. I'm going to use a torch and see if I can heat up that bolt and use a strip socket to see if I can get it out. I am actually extremely hyped to say that heat worked insanely well here. And I'm actually very happy this is coming off now. All right, guys, so for now, I'm going to move on to prepping the rockers to be welded on and cut off and welded on. And I just moved the wiring harness up out of the way on both sides. The little seat buckle covers, because I got a weld down here as well. Got to figure out something with this, maybe weld in a new patch or just kind of clean this up a little bit. And then I can run my rear cab mounts. And I just want to show you guys a little bit of what we had going on. What we'll probably do is drill out these little spot welds all the way down. That way the rocker can come off the face. And we'll see if the back half is savable by any means, but it doesn't look like it is. And it's pretty gone, so I don't know what we'll do there. Maybe weld a plate, just a flat plate of metal there. Not 100% sure. And my cab corners don't need to be perfect, but definitely going to weld in wherever I need to make this look good enough. I obviously cut this straight across and down, which I could have left now that it's on a two-wheel drive frame, but gives you a little bit of a look at what actually goes on back there, and I don't mind that it's cut straight across. I just need to clean it up is all that's really important here. Then I need to get into welding up a custom exhaust. I'll do that on my own time as well. Nothing too exciting there. It's probably not going to be anything too crazy pretty either. Just needs to have a cat and a muffler and all that fun stuff. So, like I said, all sorts of little things that need to happen, but I need to get the muffler on, a pipe and a muffler that comes out here with a cat. That way I can drive it down the road. And yeah, I think that's about it. And I think I have my old cat and muffler still kicking around, so I'm probably just gonna put those right up to it, weld it on, and call it a day. Hey guys, so I'm starting to cut out these rockers. I am drilling out the spot welds now, and I'll figure out what it's gonna take to get them cut out at the bottom here. Here's a little update for you guys. And remember, we probably won't be using old panels, but it's just what I had, and it's clean enough to use. So down here, you'll see the holes that I've drilled out so far. I don't see a spot weld in here, but I'm sure as I go, I will see where it's supposed to be. And now I'm just taking my screwdriver and popping this thing free. All right, this is coming out pretty good, actually, finally. I almost have the rocker off. Back wall is so clean, too. I wish I could have used that. I just need to drill out a couple more spot welds, and I think just cut straight down. And I'll have everything I'll need for this cab. There's the beautiful girlfriend with the new rocker. I figured I'd cut it at this seam because you'll see right over here, I don't know, it's not perfect by any means, and I feel like a little bit of beaded welds in there, grind it down. I think it'll look great instead of having a cut somewhere up here. Okay, so this bottom rocker, I'm going to try to drill out the spot welds the best I can down there, but it wasn't looking too feasible. Like, look how rotted that is. So I just made 2 incisions and pulled it down to see what I'm working with. But I don't know, maybe I'll just kind of try to cut along the line. I think we're going to redo this panel anyway, possibly. So I don't know, just giving you guys an inside look at what I'm going through right now. So we've gotten cut out today so far. So we're going to come back tomorrow, do the other side, and just start trimming it up so we can get these rockers welded in place. All right, we've gotten the top half of the passenger side drilled out now. Okay, and now this bottom plate is way too far gone to reuse. So I am actually going to drill this out as well and cut out the spare one off the white donor panel and weld that on there as well. All right, we're coming in with another update. So I've gotten most of the sill at the bottom there out. I'm just going to take the whole sill all the way down out, all the way to the back. This one is pretty clean. I even have like the existing front half, which is nice. I'm not a body man, and nor would I want to be. All right, so I don't want to get too in-depth because I'm just, cutting, replacing, welding, all that fun stuff. But I almost have the panel off this back side. I'm just messing with a little piece of metal right up in there. Once I get that cut off, the back is all set. Then I'm going to move to the front and then do it to that side. And then once I do all that, I can start applying my new panel, which is up there, but I'm laying on the ground right now. All right. We've gotten all of the metal out. It's I've probably been in the garage for like 2 to 3 hours just hammering away. Could be a little longer. And we got it out. Got to straighten up that bracket. I got to grind down all the spots for it to sit on and clean up a bunch of stuff. I guess it welds down this, and then over here it makes a transition. There's this tiny lip, but it really gets welded to this pillar right here. So, and obviously a little rot behind the foam. So I had a lot of work cut out for me, a little bit of patching to do. But the worst of it is done, I believe. And now it's just weld. Hopefully it's not terrible. I got a lot of prepping to do tomorrow. I got to prep all this metal, get it ready to be welded on, remove some more brackets, cut this down. But I'm going to go get a wire wheel and just snip off anything I don't need, straighten it out, clean it up, and get it welded on. Then we'll do the same thing. We'll clean up our rockers, straighten them out, and figure out what excess we need to cut off the cab, what excess we need to cut off that, how I'm going to weld it, and get it welded on. So I'm just now starting to test fit my new panel. Still have a lot of cleaning up to do on it. I just cleaned up the back side, but once we fit this up here, we just got to bring it up a little bit, move some stuff out of the way, clean off that top half of the panel. Like I said, small things, but it's coming along. Well, always a good way to tell that winter is coming. One thing I did just do, though, is set the door up in place, and I'm just trying to make sure it's on there good and straight. And so I'm just using the jack to kind of adjust it up a little bit, tightening my hinges, and I just tightened 2 of them. So we'll let this down ever so slightly and see how the door closes. Perfect. Now I'll tighten those up, and we will start getting our panels in place. Honestly, not too bad. I felt like this welded pretty good for what it was. A little bit of air down in that one right there. I couldn't get that. A little rusty. I should have cleaned the metal a little better there, I believe. Front wasn't too bad at all, though. And let's get this opened up. So yeah, everything's looking pretty good, pretty smoky in here. So I think I'm going to prep the other side and do the other side just because I'm here. Why not? And then I'll plug the rocker on and see how I'm going to essentially make my welds. All right, guys, it's slowly coming along. I just got this placed up here for the first time and just made my first cuts, cut off some of the extra metal. Now I got to find a way to trim out some of the metal in here to fit this underneath, then run my weld, and if I need to use any sort of mud, I can. Same with the front here. I have a little bit of trimming to do. You know, I just got to straighten some things out. That's curved up, line these up, prep this metal, straighten it out. But I wanted to show you just the basic, what we were looking at so far. Trimming up the rocker, and so far, not so bad. I have it almost where I want it. I got to tuck this up behind the metal, and I have to lift it up just in general because I need these seams to line up. But I'm getting really, really close. Super excited for how this looks. I'm just going to line it up and start welding it in. So honestly, not too bad. We got our rocker up there. I got a lot of work to do down there. We still got to clean up some of the welds and everything. And I got a lot of work to do in here as well. But it is, for the most part, welded up. Got to go over a lot of this. I didn't really get great penetration here. I'm going to talk with my father. He's going to help me or teach me the best way to seam everything here together. I tried it, my hand in it, but I don't want to keep blowing through it, and I got a little too much space here to try to build up. So he does it for a living, gonna give me some pointers, but for my first time, I'm pretty happy with this. Like I said, the rocker's on, it's sturdy, I could probably stand on it, no problem. And the door closes just fine. So like I said, a lot of work back here still, but for the most part, the rocker's on. I'm gonna move over to the next one for right now and just get it in place, do the same thing. We'll do all the fine tuning after, and man, I'm just excited. It's dusty in here, though. I was able to get the new rocker, for the most part, in place. I still got to clean up a lot of the welds down there. Like I said, this project is my first time using a welder, so not perfect. Made a bit of a mess here, just trying to fill, and then like I said, my old man's going to come out and he's going to show me what it's going to take to fill these seams. I just tacked them up for now, but lots of grinding to do, that is for sure. Well, what an exciting night this is now. I finally finished up all the welding I need to do. I burnt my sub wire up, only caught myself on fire once because I was wearing not a welder's jacket, and made some patches in the truck, so I'm looking pretty good now. I'm going to put some primer and paint on the welds, except for the rocker. I'm going to leave that because I'm going to mess with that some more. And now I'm going to move over to the lowering blocks, which I've said like probably 3 different times, but you guys will only hear it once. And we are going to cut the old U-bolts just because I have the freedom to. I'm just going to do it, so why not? And then we're going to fit these 4-inch lowering blocks under there. Unfortunately, these are not tapered. I haven't done the non-tapered ones before. The taper's supposed to slightly help you fix your pinion angle, but in this case, we're sending these. Alrighty, we've gotten that side in. This job is just as simple. If you have tapered lowering blocks, the lower half goes towards the front of the truck. And basically, it's pretty common sense. This sits on the notch, and then we drop the axle right down on the block on the leaf spring. And then we take our mount, we attach it underneath the 2 gold U-bolts and tighten it up. It's legit that simple. Guys, now we're going to load this thing down and see how she looks. Just falls right off the jack. Here we are. She is slammed. This is going to be so nasty. I'm so excited about this right now. Guys, we got it down on the lowering blocks and just vacuumed up the interior. So, essentially, I'm going to install the carpet next, but I will see you guys in the morning when I do that. Well, I guess my next step is finding a way to weld on a hack exhaust so it's not straight piped anymore. Not going to go too into detail to that because whatever I do probably won't be too pretty. Took the shields off of the heat shields off of the manifold, and honestly, I might go the header route eventually. And when I get a new header, I'll have a whole new exhaust fan. That sounds kind of sick. But until then, I'm not really all that. I mean, I want it to sound good, but that exhaust is probably the most I'll do. Maybe electric fans if I'm desperate enough, but I like the mechanical, easy, problem-free craftsmanship that's going to go into this. But essentially, this is just coming right out of my cab. So basically, going to cut this somewhere down here and run a whole new pipe all the way down. Okay, I've lied to you guys. We got a little custom. We've been welding it together, just what I got in the garage, and making some pie cuts so I can bend this down a little and run a pipe all the way to the back so I can attach my muffler and be done with this. Just got the exhaust all welded up. It's like 1 inch from the ground. I'm going to try to pull it up once it cools off a little bit. But we're going to give this our first start and see how it sounds. Super awkward with no seat. New ignition. I'm happy with that. That's like extremely doable. Gonna give it a little rev. Yeah, I like that. It doesn't sound great. It's like a thrush muffler and just a thrush muffler, but I'm not mad at that. It's totally doable. Just drive around town, and like I said, I gotta pull that exhaust up a little because she is close. Don't mind that hanger. That's temporary. I plan to get a full custom exhaust ran eventually, but the only way to get there without a tow truck is to drive it there. So I just need to make this truck drivable essentially. But I am super happy with that. Like, that is a massive W in my book. Did it all myself. I give myself props for trying. Alrighty guys, I won't go too in-depth with this whole project, but I'm going to show you some of the steps I'm going to take. So right now, I'm going to run my amp back to where it goes and place in the carpet. There's 2 little pieces of back carpet that go down in here. You just drop it in, and then I'm going to start tightening down my seatbelts, get the little seatbelt covers on, and after I do that, I still got to figure something out with the shifter too. It's kind of unfortunate because I'm missing a metal ring that goes around it, so maybe I can just make something for it, or I'll just try to source another ring. I mean, I can make myself something, but we'll get there when we get there, I guess. And then I'll probably move over to the door panels. All right, I'm already getting excited. Oh, man. I got to run a new wire for my speakers. I'm going to run 2 new ones anyway. I need something long enough to reach the sub. They always used to come disconnected when I hit a bunch of bumps. And like I said, I'm probably going to start the door panels next. So I'll get the speakers in, get those on, and I'll pick up the camera once those are back on. All right, guys, now we're going to put the door panels on. Bam, push it right down. The door panel that comes all the way up on the newer style trucks, I think these are Pathfinder door panels. Essentially, the hardest part is just getting it over this lock. But the inside works as a gasket, which is really nice. And I guess we got some weak clips back here, but that's okay. Just gonna keep assembling the door panel. Look at that, the door panels are in. And something exciting, I've been working on the speedometer. Check this out, we got this lower panel back in. Took a lot of work. I have to still custom make all of my knobs and everything work. That'll be another video for sure. I gotta put this little fuse panel piece back in. 2 screws at the bottom. I did have to notch out a piece for the e-brake. The interior is not perfect, but no one in the world is gonna see that I notched that out except for you guys. And like I said, I'm gonna wrap a lot of stuff with some cool material at some point, I imagine. So it's just connections and getting a clamshell on later, but even then I can put screws in that and drive it with it. A little ugly with this all tucked in there if needed, so I am very happy with that. I'm gonna put that little bottom piece of trim back in, and I think the seat can go in next. And I also have to wait to do the kick panels for a later date when I glass this all up and make it look good. So for the most part, about 90% of the interior is back in. We're gonna do a clamshell, find a way to hang up that switch like I was saying. We're going to do the kick panels after I glass and make a custom piece for the shift boot. But other than that, this is all set to go. And I think next we're going to place the bed on the back. But I think everything in here is looking, like everything is looking really good. Once I get the bumper brackets, I'll be able to run the bumper. But hopefully tomorrow I can go get a front end alignment. But actually, guys, I think I'm going to call that a video. We've gotten the interior in. We've gotten the exhaust welded on. We've gotten the rockers set in place. I mean, we've done so much this video. I think it's a good way to call this a video. Probably not one of the most exciting vids, but I want to show you guys all of the progress I've been making. And I'm just excited to take you guys along with me so you can see the journey of what I'm really putting into for work to get this truck on the road. And we did the 4-inch sloping blocks in the rear. So I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace out.